We are back with another deal of the week. At this point, I've done so many deals that I have enough deals of the week for probably I don't know, 4 or 5 years. It's a good amount. Maybe even longer than that because it's 52 weeks in a year. I've probably done close to 1,000 deals. So that's 10 years? So even more than that, actually. I don't know if they're all going to be as good as this one, but they're definitely still going to be good. This one is actually one of my favorites. I think this one beats the record actually for getting the most equity appreciation after doing a remodel. This one definitely takes the record for that, like having the most amount of equity increase after doing a remodel, and it's insane. And this is why I say having amazing realtors in a specific local market to wherever you're looking to purchase is extremely important. Mainly because this realtor knew and was able to figure out what the comparables were going to look like for this specific property in this area. And that was basically going to tell us hey, this is what the property is going to be worth once you're actually done doing all the work. It was just very important, at least in this particular situation, to know, hey, this is what we're going to be buying the property for, but here's what some of the comparables are already showing. Now, I remember when we first jumped on the phone to talk about this deal, they told me the price and I was like, for this area, it didn't really sound realistic because I figured most price points in this market, they're much more expensive. We're already getting into the $1 million plus. And once you start to get into the $1 million plus, things become much more exponential. The amount of money you're going to spend on a renovation, the out-of-pocket cost is much more expensive. The amount of money you have the ability to make, as you guys will see on this deal, it goes through the roof. So there's a couple things that can change when you start to play these higher price brackets, because you need to think about it from the lens of who actually has the ability to compete at this price point. Most people don't have the ability to compete at that price point. So when you go in and you're already coming in with the preconception of, hey, I know we're going to be putting in a ton of work into this specific deal. Here's what I want it to look like. Here's what my goal is. Here's what I want it to be worth once we're actually done with the renovations. So extremely important. Now, purchase price for this property ended up coming out at $1.2 million. They did this in all cash. This was actually one of my celebrity clients. It was done in all cash, and they came in and they just bought out the property, and we're like, okay, great. There's something unique here, and the reason why I want to focus on the all cash offer is because you can only get this when you have the ability to play with the big dogs. And so in this situation, she could come in and she was like, hey, I'm going to be buying this property in all cash. We have the ability to negotiate pretty heavily. I think they brought them down from 1.6 million. The house had been sitting on the market for an extended couple weeks. So it worked in her favor because she had such huge savings on the front end of the actual purchase by coming in and buying in all cash, closing in 7 days. So that's something that I would say is extremely important. For those who have the ability to come in all cash, there are certain situations where I will recommend let's come in and purchase this property in all cash, mainly because of the fact that you have the ability to actually close faster. You have the ability to negotiate more. But if you can't negotiate the difference in what you would have come in with if you bought this with a loan, that's where sometimes it doesn't make sense. So I always say, let's talk to my team and I about the specifics. Let's figure out if that even makes sense. In this deal, the amount of money that they were saving was tremendous. So I was like, that makes total sense. Let's buy it in all cash. So that's the first piece, came in all cash. And the piece with all cash deals is we can do something called delayed financing. Delayed financing is where you have the ability to purchase a property in cash and then literally the day after closing, turn around and finance the loan. It's delayed because the financing comes after you've purchased. So in this situation, our goal was to refinance at the 6-month mark. The reason why I say the 6-month mark is because a lot of banks actually require for you to have waited a full 6-month time frame before you come in and you are able to refinance using the new value of your property. Our goal here was to use the new value because we want to take all of our money back out and be able to reinvest that into future deals. If there's one thing you guys have heard me preach, it's that I always look at it from an investor lens. I'm looking at it from how can we get into this deal with the lowest out of pocket? How can we get into this deal with the lowest interest rate? Where can we get the best terms on the loan? Those are the 3 things that are the most important. We look at that for every deal. So in this specific situation, I was like, hey, let's do delayed financing. We're going to renovate the property. When you're done renovating the property, we'll turn around and we'll do a refinance. We'll pull all your money back out. This is exactly what we did. So you guys will see how this worked out. We bought the property in 1.2 million, all cash. Remodel plus furniture came in at a whopping $500,000. So I say that to say, you're playing with the big dogs. You got to come in with a lot of money. People who are buying those million plus properties are not willing to come in and throw $500,000 to do a massive renovation project. Now, granted, this property is insane. It has a golf course on it. Like, they went through the roof, over the top on this deal. You have a massive full-size basketball court. They have a huge theater. Like, they went all out for this property through the remodel and the furniture. And the idea was that they want to get high-level people who are going to book this place for a team retreat. Personally, I just spent a lot of money on another Airbnb that I'm taking my team over to in Atlanta, Georgia, which is going to be the exact same thing. I dropped over $10,000 on that specific property. And there are people who are booking things like that, houses like, that are massive, that house 10, 15 people, because they want to be able to bring everybody in and just have a good time. It's not a hotel. You don't have to deal with it. You have your own rules. You have a lot of land. These are the things that people think about when it's somebody like myself, for example, who's going to go book a place like this, and it's going to be a business. It's a business thing. Like, we're going for a specific event. That's what I would think somebody would book this property for, as some sort of retreat. So $500K, a whopping $500,000. So we're all into this deal, $1.7 million. The renovations, I believe, took them just under 6 months, because when we were in conversation about doing this refinance, the delayed financing deal that we were going to get them their money back out, it was structured where we had to actually wait a little bit to close because it hadn't been 6 months yet. So let's keep going. We got 1.7 all in. The ARV came in at a whopping $3.885 million. This number, when we saw this on the appraisal report, was crazy, because they're all in on a deal at 1.7. They bought this property for 1.2, and they have well over $1 million in equity from this deal. So what did we do in this situation? They had so much money to play with. You could have taken this money and you could have gone to go buy 3 more properties. They didn't end up doing that, but you have so much wiggle room. And this is why I always preach, if you have the ability to come in and play at this price point, like this person played, they played at 1.2, they brought in the $500,000 for the remodel. We have a property that's worth almost $4 million. Now, granted, the comparables in this area were for massive properties. They're over 7,000 square feet. It's a huge house, and they did an amazing job on the remodel. So, of course, with the help of the amazing realtor that we worked with, we got this to be at a much higher value. We gave the appraiser like everything that they could have seen for this house, and the work was completed. And that's why it came in at a whopping $3.885 million. Now, if we were to have said, I want to pull all my money back out of this deal, we would have been able to take out a good 70% loan to value easily, just from the sense of like, let's not go higher than that because we don't really need to. So that would have put us at 70%. Let's come in and do this. So we got 70% would have put us at 2.7 million, right? Which is like, that's a lot to be able to take that out of the $3.8 million deal. They're only in for 1.7. So literally they got paid $1 million just to go through this entire process and do the refinance. Now, they didn't end up doing that. They just wanted to pull their money back out, plus kind of like some of the stuff that they ended up going over on with like flights and things of that nature. So all in for 3.8. The loan ended up being for $2 million. For this size loan, and at the time that we ended up doing this, was relatively good interest rates. We came in at a 7.375. Amazing interest rate. The overall deal was really good. Like, the way that we kind of structured everything was on point, and they got better interest rate pricing. I mean, this was in an environment where interest rates were upwards of 8.5%. Let's continue. Let's look at this monthly payment. Monthly payment of $13,800 a month. But if this is a $3.8 million house, I mean, this has to be a moneymaker, and this property is a moneymaker. I really want you guys to see that. Monthly revenue and annual revenue on this deal was coming in at $425,000 per year. Monthly, $35,416, which is just insane. You have one deal, which literally could change, absolutely change this person's life in terms of not only how much money they're making, replacing a W-2 job, replacing a massive income. I mean, we're talking about a difference here of over $20,000. Like, they're profiting tremendously off of this property, and based off more recent numbers that I have, I think it's probably even closer to like $500K a year. And you guys would be surprised. It's like, oh, how's a property actually going to rent out for $500,000 a year? Trust me, there's plenty of people who are booking properties at this price point. Yeah, it might not be within your budget, but there's definitely people that are actually going to go out and purchase it, or a business that's coming out and purchasing it. There's properties for price points of different buyers and different avatars, and you might not be the target audience, but there's someone who's going to come in and they're going to bring their entire family of 50 people or 40 people to this house and do something crazy and spend this kind of money. I say this to say I don't see short-term rentals going anywhere. I want to keep showing you guys what are my clients doing that are going to get them to be so successful, and how can we actually structure this deal on the back end? Like, how can we structure a deal that's going to save you the most money, that's going to make you money, that's going to give you better terms on the loan, better terms on the interest rate? There's a lot of things that we can do here. So I'm going to continue to make these videos for you guys. I really hope that you guys found this video insightful. If you haven't watched my other video, you can do so right here, wherever my team ends up putting it. That way you guys can continue to see what we're doing with the deals of the week. But if you are new here, my name is Ricardo, and I'm going to continue to put out real estate related content for you guys. I'm going to be doing 2 videos every single week. One is the deal of the week video, which we're doing today, and the second one is my vlog. So I would love for you guys to tune in, watch the videos that we're putting out, give me some feedback. I want to continue to put out videos for you guys. I really want to see my clients and see you guys be able to scale your real estate portfolio through creative financing, and that's exactly what my team and I do. If you guys are ever in need of financing or anything real estate related in the US, feel free to hit me up. You guys can get my information off Instagram. You can DM me, you can comment. My team and I would be more than happy to help you guys out. I will see you guys in the next deal of the week.
No scout, I stay trim like side face. Addicted to digging you deep, it escalate, then I excavate. Been fucking for 50.